Welcome back to another episode of Life in Pictures podcast. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. We've had some personal things going on and some professional things going on and just life in general. And we don't always get to record episodes of this show as often as we'd like. But we are back and we have seen a lot of movies since the last time. And we would like to talk about one of the newest ones that we've seen tonight. And the newest one that we have seen is
Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Now, Colin and I went to go see this over the long Memorial Day weekend. And it was a cool movie. We really enjoyed it. If you're not familiar, it's the last one in the series. And this series has been going on all the way from 1996 up until now. And then, of course, before it was a series of movies, it was a television show before that. So, I mean, the franchise in general has been around way longer than 1996, but the movies specifically have been going on since 1996. So we started watching these movies actually last year because
Dead Reckoning came out.
Dead Reckoning came out, which is this movie is actually part 2 of a 2-part finale.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's kind of like if anyone listening saw Wicked when it came out, everyone knows that it said to be continued at the end, implying that there's a part 2. And I don't remember if Dead Reckoning said to be continued, but the title is Dead Reckoning Part 1. And I think this movie was going to be called Dead Reckoning Part 2, but I guess they changed it. But it still has Reckoning in the title, so it should be obvious that it's a Part 2.
Yep. And so it was pretty cool to see this when Dead Reckoning came out last year. Before it came out, actually, we had seen the trailer for it when we were seeing a different movie. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. They're bringing another one out. And I had myself had seen the first one and the second one and then maybe a few of the other ones, and I kind of lost track of them. And I don't think you'd seen any of them.
I hadn't seen any of them, but, obviously I've heard the song. I feel like a lot of people have heard the song, even if you, and I thought it sounded good, and I was like, and I knew it was like a spy action movie kind of thing. I mean, I don't really know if it's a spy, but it's kind of like a spy. And, I thought like a mix of action, spy, plus the song kind of like leads you into that theme. So I was like, okay, this will be cool to check out.
Yeah, and so since you hadn't seen any of them and I'd only seen a few of them, I said, hey, why don't we go ahead and watch the rest of them, and then we'll be all caught up when this new one comes out. And luckily, they had all of them on, and they still do have all of them on Paramount Plus. So if you want to do that same thing before you go see this one, and you have Paramount Plus, there you go. So we did that. We got caught up. We went and saw Dead Reckoning last year. We really loved it. And we've been waiting for this one to come out. And, when this one came out, we obviously went right to see it. I think this was opening weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was opening weekend.
So we went pretty much right away to go check it out. And I got to say, it was really great. If you're a fan of the franchise, you're probably going to go see it regardless. But if you're not, and if you've never seen any of the other ones before, you don't necessarily have to see the other ones. You won't be lost if you haven't seen the other ones, but it's probably a good idea to check out the other ones before you see this, just so you're somewhat familiar with what's happening.
And a good thing, even if you don't see the other ones, the first act of the movie is mainly just recapping the other movies, which is really helpful to people who haven't seen them but want to see this new one.
I liked that too, because even if you have, we have seen them, and I was just like, man, it's been a year. Where are we? So I do like that they did that. It kind of helped make some of that stuff make sense. So anyway, like we said, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. You can see it in theaters now. I'm sure eventually it will also be on Paramount Plus, and available to purchase and all of that stuff. But right now, you have to go see it in a theater.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go see Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning in the theater before it goes away.
And if you're like us, you can get Regal Unlimited and go see it as many times as you want. Now, they're not paying me to say that. They never have, and I would probably imagine they never will. But I still think it's a great deal. If you like to watch movies the way that we like to watch movies, or even if you don't like to watch that many movies, I think you only have to go 2 times a month I think you come out slightly ahead if you go twice a month with your unlimited membership.
And other perks to that, sorry for cutting you off, but other perks to that include, like, it's not just movies. You can, like, if you build up points by, I think you get them by seeing movies with them. You can get, like, free small popcorn, and then if you want to upgrade it to the large, it's only like $1 or something. So you can get deals like that.
Those are actually part of the Regal Crown Club, which that's free to join. Join that too if you're going. But it's not just at Regal. Other theater chains have similar programs. I think AMC and Cinemark, and I'm sure other ones have it too. I think it's a good deal. I'm glad they finally started doing that. I would recommend you go check that out. If you think that you're going to go to the movies at least twice a month, it's worth it. Or I don't know if you can do it month to month or not. I think you can. I mean, I think ours is month to month. Anyway,
it is month to month.
It's not really the point I'm trying to make here. I'm just saying it's a good deal. So it's in the theaters now. This movie had a budget of $400 million. And right now it's currently made $190 million worldwide. And, it's only been out for a few days. So if it keeps up this pace, I'm sure that they're going to at least break even. I would be very surprised if they don't turn a pretty hefty profit.
They're definitely going to break even, and I actually do think that even though it's not as hyped up as later movies coming out this year, like, Superman or Fantastic Four or anything, or Jurassic World or anything like that, I do think that it will hit $1 billion just because it's only been like 5 days and it's already at almost $200 million.
Yeah, you can tell they put a lot into this movie. And it shows. It's a great movie.
It really is.
Obviously, the cast of this movie, you got Tom Cruise, you have Haley Atwell, Simon Pegg. I don't know, how the heck do you say this name?
I don't know how to pronounce
Tom Clementif.
I don't know how you pronounce her name either, but she played Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy or Avengers or whatever. She was Mantis in Marvel. That's who she is.
S.I. Morales, I
think is how you say it. He plays the main villain, and his name is Gabriel.
Okay. Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames is in a lot of stuff.
Like Mission Impossible.
He's in Mission Impossible.
I'm going to cover him in a minute, because I'm mad about what they did with him in this movie.
I liked Ving Rhames in this movie called The Goods, where they sell these used cars, and I don't know, it's a funny movie. It's not like Mission Impossible.
This episode isn't about the game.
But it's not about that. And there's no post-credit scene in this movie. So
unfortunate.
If you like to hang out afterwards and check out the post-credit scenes,
do not.
You're not going to get anything for your time if you do that in this movie.
Except names.
You'll see a lot of credits. That's about it.
I do want to mention that I know some people don't care, some people do care. This movie is the longest in the franchise. It's almost 3 hours long. It's 2 hours and 49 minutes.
Yeah, now we disagree on this. For me, it didn't seem like it dragged on or it was super long. You said it kind of felt a little long to you.
I could feel its length. Wicked was 2 hours and 4. I keep talking about Wicked. This is a Mission Impossible episode. Anyway, Wicked was 2 hours and 40 minutes, about 9 minutes less. I couldn't feel that movie's length. Could you feel that movie's length?
Yeah, Wicked didn't seem that long to me either. So in my personal opinion, I wouldn't let the runtime deter you from going to see it. It didn't seem like, oh man, when is this movie ever going to end? Your results may vary on that, but to me personally, I didn't feel like it dragged on. So I guess we'll do kind of a synopsis of this movie. Ethan Hunt, which is Tom Cruise's...
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you right there. If it wasn't clear already, there's going to be spoilers, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, you should probably,
Yeah, spoiler alert. We always talk about movies as if we've seen them, because we've seen them, and we want to talk about them. So if you want to know what happens, go ahead and keep on listening. If you don't want to know what happens, go watch the movie and then come back and take a listen. because we're going to be talking about this movie as if you've already seen it. So a synopsis of this movie: Ethan Hunt, which is Tom Cruise's character, and his team of other secret agents, spies,
other
whatever
IMF
you want to
agents.
call them. They are battling what's known as the Entity, which is an AI
Think
program. I don't know what you
think
would
of
call
like
it.
a rogue Google.
Yeah, it's AI. And so this AI thing it controls everything. It controls social media, it controls
The military.
it controls the news, it controls all kinds of crazy junk. And it's working on becoming sentient and taking over the governments of the world and their nuclear assets. So the IMF team is trying to combat that, and the other guy, Gabriel, is trying to take control of it too, but for not as noble reasons. So they're sort of in a race against each other to gain control of this AI before AI gains control of everyone. And I really thought that was an interesting concept because technology today, and I feel like this is probably a sentence that people say a lot and have said in the past and probably will say in the future, but technology, it influences so much of what we do today, and it seemed like this was really personally relevant because AI is starting to become more and more powerful, and it kind of showed how like things that are currently happening now, like disinformation on social media, and the way that affects current events, the way that determines our political climate, the way that it determines all that kind of stuff. And I just thought that was really interesting because it's supposed to be kind of this, fantasy movie, but it didn't really seem like it was that far from the truth. And
sadly, it's not far from the truth.
Which was entertaining, but also a little scary at the same time. Because in real life, I don't think we have an Ethan Hunt to come save us.
Yeah, I think the closest thing we probably have, at least that a lot of people know about, is the CIA. And like people don't really know a whole lot like about the CIA. They just know it exists, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Hopefully this stays fiction. But it was pretty neat just to kind of see the way that they incorporated all of that and the way that like Ethan's team went out to go combat that by telling some of the people that are on the opposite side, like, hey, look, we don't need to be divided about these things. That's what the AI wants us to do. They want us to be fighting so it can take over and coming together to defeat it. I thought that was really neat. That was one of the main things that I noticed about the movie. Outside of the plot and everything, I kind of thought that it was cool that it was kind of like a nice little send-off for the series, bringing kind of the whole team back together.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a send-off.
Yeah, it is a send-off. Why wouldn't it be?
Because, I don't know, Tom Cruise doesn't seem the type of person that... Like, I feel like, not Tom Cruise, but, like, Mission Impossible, I feel like, is the kind of franchise, like, I don't know, what's another franchise that, like, doesn't seem like... Or, like, Transformers or Star Wars or something like that, where they have so many movies that, like, it doesn't feel like they're gonna stop.
Yeah, I mean, they might make one way later on down the road or something, but, like, I don't think they're going to be making one anytime soon. But it was cool they brought the whole team back together. It was nice to see them kind of do one more go around kind of thing. I liked when they brought back William Donlow. So if you're not familiar with who that character is, in the first movie that came out in 1996, they break into this highly secured vault, this government facility that, only this one guy has access to get in and out of. It's kind of the famous scene where he comes down on the rope and, they have all the lasers and everything. And that scene is just iconic. Like, you see it in all kinds of stuff, like they have it in commercials, and they have it like whenever you see like a TV show or something where they have like a secret mission, a lot of times they'll replicate that scene. Well, anyway, this guy was the guy that had access to the vault, and after the breach of the vault, he got transferred to this island, out in Russia or somewhere, the Antarctic somewhere. And so they brought him back because he was one of the only people who could help them find the coordinates for them to get the source code to this AI so that they could take it over. And it was kind of a big reveal that, like, when they went to go see him and they were like, "Oh, you're that guy from the first one," and that was a really cool moment.
I mean, obviously they don't say you're the guy from the first one, but like,
well, right. I mean that's like the way they portray it. So you say that,
yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool scene to kind of bring it back.
Speaking of the first one, there's in one part of the movie, Ethan Hunt gets captured by the government, I guess, and he has to explain to the president why he's trying to kill the entity, and he explains it to them, and luckily the president decides to let him go, and she hands him a note with a day on it, and the day is May 22nd, 1996, which is the day he broke into that vault, but it's also the day that Mission Impossible 1 was released. I think internationally, probably. Maybe just in the US, but probably internationally. And it was also the day that early screenings for this new one started too, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, well, I don't think she just let him go. I think what it was he was explaining to her that, like, we need to fight this AI. In order to do that, we have to go down to this submarine where the source code of it is located, and I have to use this special key that he got in the last movie to unlock the thing that it's in. And in order to do that, we need the government to help me get there on this submarine. And, all of the president's advisors are like, "You're insane. That's crazy. Why would we do that? Blah, 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 blah." And she says, "I'm going to let you do it." And the order that she writes down for him to be able to do it is that date. Which, as you said, is significant because it's significant in the plot of the movie because it's, like you said, where they broke into the vault, but also in real life because it's the release date of the first movie.
Yeah.
And speaking of that key is really cool.
It does look really cool. It looks like two, like, those cross necklaces that everyone wears, like, not everyone, but like, people who are really religious will wear them, and it kind of signifies faith, I think is what it signifies. I'm not really religious, so I could be wrong on that, but
the cross is
I know who it's about.
It's where Jesus died.
Well, I know, but anyway, so like people wear those necklaces. It's kind of like two of those combined, and the tops of like each of the sides of the top of the cross. I think they're like, it's split up into two sides. So one of them has like white, I want to say jewels, but they just look like dots. I don't think they're jewels. And the other one has red ones.
Yeah,
and then they connect
the two
together.
come together, and it's a special key to open up this, I don't know what you'd call it, container that the source code is in. And they actually have a popcorn bucket you can buy that has a replica of that key in it, which I didn't know at first. I thought it was just a replica of, or I just thought it was a popcorn bucket. I didn't realize it had that in it. I kind of want to get it now. That was cool. It's called the cruciform key, and it's like kind of a major prop in the film, and in the last film also. Like a lot of the last film before this, the plot revolved around them getting that key.
Tom Cruise jumps off a motorcycle from a cliff.
Yeah, I really like that Tom Cruise is always doing these crazy stunts. Like he said in the last one, he jumped a motorcycle off of a cliff, and he actually did that like more than once for the movie.
Yeah, he did it like I think 3 times.
I think he did that like the first day of filming.
He did, and I don't really know if we want to jump here, but I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. For this movie, he went 8,000 feet in the air on a plane without CGI, and I think he had obviously he had a parachute and safety stuff, but he was still 8,000 feet in the air, and he wasn't in the seat of a plane. He was, like, hanging on the side of a plane.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have safety stuff, that's gotta be crazy to do. You know, I wouldn't do it if they were just like, here's a parachute and some safety harness, good luck, you know? I mean, that's dedication to your craft right there. And that was one of the things I was waiting for the whole movie, because I was like, oh, I know he does this scene. When's it going to happen? And then I knew when it was going to happen, because they were like, okay, now this guy's escaping and he's going to chase him. I was like, he's going to get on that plane now. I know it's happening, because they made a big deal of saying, I've got 2 planes here, you know? And I was like, oh, this is where it's going to happen. And that was a really cool scene. So kind of jumping around here, but earlier in the film, Luther gets killed in an attack.
Yeah,
kind of an attack. There was a bomb that was set, and he's the only one that can disarm it, but if he disarms it, he has to sacrifice himself to do it.
He's not the only one that can disarm it. He is the only one that can disarm it, in a sense that, like, he's the only one who can get in that room to disarm it, but he's not the only one with the skills to disarm. Like, other people in that franchise, like Ethan, he even tries to, like, get in the door that he's locked in any way he can to, you know, sacrifice himself and let Luther get away. But unfortunately, like, the door's locked and he can't, you know, break it or get through or anything. So Luther has to, like, there's a bunch of detonators in this bomb, and he has to take out one. But if he takes out one, the cave he's trapped in will cave in. And did I just say the cave will cave in? Anyway, that will cave in, and everyone in it will die, including Luther. And unfortunately, he does have to sacrifice himself, and I hated that part, because, like, him and Benji were, like, I grew on them so much when I watched those movies. And, like, I don't know, I really liked Luther, and I was really sad that they had to kill him.
Yeah, and it was also kind of sad that, like, the rest of the movie, you're kind of wondering, like, okay, well, who else is going to be killed?
Yeah, well, I thought, after that, I really thought they were going to kill the whole crew. Like, I thought Simon Pegg was going to die.
I thought Benji was going to die, because, like, they were doing, like, operations
surgery
on him
and he
stuff.
kept, like, blacking out.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, he's probably dying.
When Ethan Hunt fell off the plane, his parachute, like, broke.
It burned up. I'm not sure if they ever explained. Did he have a backup parachute or something?
Well, that's what it looked like, but they never explained fully how he survived. The whole time before it cut to him surviving, he was just flipping fast towards the ground. I really thought they were gonna kill him off.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And even like before, you know, that plane scene ever happened, I thought they were gonna kill him off, because if it was the last movie, you know,
yeah, why wouldn't you do that? You know, just wrap it up. That's what I was thinking that too. I'm glad that they didn't. I kind of wish it would have been cool if they would have found a way for all of them to survive. But
yeah, like, why did Luther have to go? Why couldn't
I think Luther was dying anyway though.
He was like sick. I don't remember. Maybe he wasn't sick. Maybe he got injured or something. But like something happened in the Dead Reckoning, and I don't remember what happened. But
yeah, like so. I mean, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they chose him. They was just like, well, how much longer is he gonna live anyway? You know. And then before he died, he was working on this device that would help kill the AI. He called it his poison pill. And, you know, if anybody got that source code from that submarine and also his poison pill, and they put them together, then they could kill that AI. And then Gabriel, the bad guy, steals the poison pill. So they, you know, the whole movie, they're sort of...
And I remember getting so mad at this part, and I think this scene is actually supposed to make you feel mad. Ethan's plan when he found Gabriel, like at the last, like right before the plane chase, he was just gonna give Gabriel the thing that he got from the submarine, and Gabriel, without knowing, was gonna kill the entity. Like he knew what Gabriel was planning, and he thought about it, and he was like, well, if he does this, it'll kill the entity, and he won't know. So he was gonna secretly make Gabriel part of his own plan, and then that's when, you know, the government intervenes, and they're like, no, you're under arrest, Gabriel. So that happened.
The government almost screwed the whole thing up, you know. But yeah, that was that was interesting. And then they even found a way to save William Donlow and his wife, and I forget the other agent that was with him. I think that was so this brings me back to like in the beginning when they're trying to go, they have to break out. I'm drawing a blank on her name, but the lady from the first movie that they spared her life, and she wants to kill Gabriel, and they break her out of jail. And he's the agent that lets them go, because they take the masks off, and it's Benji and Ethan, which I thought was cool. I really love where they have those masks. That's just like a staple of the series.
I remember the first time I saw those masks, I was like, "What?" I was like, "How did they even do that?"
What?
Yeah, I know. That's how I felt. And if you don't get that reference, we watched those two movies recently. It's from Grown. I think it's only in Grown Ups too. I don't think that he does it in the first one. Yeah. But there's this character where every time he gets a prize, he says "what," but he says it in like this really weird accent. And so does his family. They all say like "what."
Grown Ups 2. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's funny.
And Grown Ups 1.
Yeah. But, I mean, I thought that was really cool. I was hoping they would have some kind of scene with that in it. I was like, how are you going to have a Mission Impossible movie and not have those masks in it? So I was glad to see that they did that. But that was one of those scenes I was talking about where, you know, this guy, he was one of the people that was escorting her somewhere, another facility or something. Yeah. And, you know, they had to convince him, hey, look, we're not a threat to you. We're trying... The AI wants us to be enemies, but we're not enemies. Like, you need to let us go. And he did, and he trusted them, and they were right. You know, they worked out.
Also, this isn't really related, but back in the cave, there's like a shootout that starts when the government comes. And Ethan drops the thing that he got from the submarine, and Benji, like, runs out into the gunfire to go get it, and he gets shot, and he needs, like, emergency surgery. And he calls upon the lady that they broke out of prison that plays, you know, Mantis in Avengers and stuff. Anyway, he calls on her, and he doesn't call on her immediately, but he asks the team that's with him, because Ethan has left at this point to go chase down Gabriel. He asks them, like, he asks the people that are, I think it's Grace, which is Haley Atwell, and the lady that plays Mantis, do either of you know... do either of you have medical experience? And Grace just shakes her head and says no, and the lady that plays Mantis just says, I kill people.
That was pretty funny. I liked in the beginning too, they have this scene where like they're having this big fight, and they don't show the fight, they just show like the actors reacting to it. Oh my god,
yes.
And for some reason in my mind, it just made me think of like the old cartoons where they play sound effects and you don't see what's happening, and I was hoping they'd have some kind of like over the top cartoon sound effect. Like, I mean, I knew they wouldn't, because it would, like, that's not the kind of movie they were trying to make.
Pow!
I was just imagining it playing out that way, and like it was really funny to me. There was a few scenes like that where, like, you know, I could imagine things going a different direction and being funnier, like if they were trying to make a funny movie, which they obviously weren't. But that was
there were
cool.
some funny parts, like the I kill people.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. I might have already mentioned this, but even if I did, I'm going to say it again because it's funny. When they're on the plane, Gabriel eventually has to get out of the pilot seat because I think it, like, breaks or something like that. And he's, like, fighting Ethan on the plane while they're still hanging on for dear life. And Gabriel has a parachute, but Ethan doesn't. And he's like, well, I'm the only one with a parachute. See ya. And then he, like, lets go of the plane. Then he hits his nuts on the back of the plane, and he's like, ow. And then he flips over, bangs his head on the tail of the plane, and it stabs into his brain and kills him.
Yeah, and I was funny at first, and then I got serious real quick. Because I was like, ha ha ha, oh, okay. I guess he's dead now. Cool.
Yeah, I thought it was just supposed to be funny because he hit his nuts, but then they killed him. I was like, oh.
I was like, all right, I guess they weren't trying to be that funny. It was kind of funny when he was on the submarine, and the captain was like, if you want to poke the bear, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, everyone else was, like, very hesitant about Ethan's plan, and then the captain of that submarine was just like, let's do it.
Yeah, that was really good. So, yeah, I guess that's mostly everything that happened. Of course, not in order, and just kind of our own personal opinions on it. I really liked the way that they wrapped it up. I think, you know, Tom Cruise obviously put a lot of work into this film and all of the other films. I really appreciate
He really does.
his dedication to doing those stunts and making sure everything's perfect. And, you know, say what you will about him in his personal life. He's, you know, maybe a little out there, but he's a great actor.
He is.
You know,
he
he
really
cares
is.
about movies, and he does a great job in these movies.
And I also love that he knows how to improve each one, and that's why I think this one's the best. I might have already mentioned that this one is the best in my opinion, but like that, I really do think this one's the best just because he knows how to do a good movie.
Yeah, and you know, like we said, if you haven't seen all of the other ones, they're all on Paramount Plus. If you have that, it's an easy way to get caught up, or you know, you could always go see this one and watch them later if you want, or, you know, whatever you want to do. But it's definitely, in my opinion, I would say this is a franchise worth checking out. Chances are you've already seen at least one of these movies and you're somewhat familiar with the plot. I think one more thing I would like to say about Mission Impossible, when the second one came out, Limp Bizkit did the title track, and that was really cool.
I was not alive when the second one came out, so
Metallica had a song on there too, but you know, I'm a big Limp Bizkit fan, and I thought that was really cool. And that doesn't really have much to do with this movie. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yes.
So anyway, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. It's in theaters now. Go check it out. Hopefully, you've enjoyed us talking about it. And you know, Stephanie wasn't here this time. We had Colin as our special guest host. You have anything else you want to leave them with tonight?
Before I go and we end this episode, I just want to say this episode will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
5 seconds. If you have any comments you would like to leave, you can check us out on our socials. We're at Life in Pictures, at Life in Pics Pod on Instagram, and we're Life in Pictures Podcast on Facebook. And I think on YouTube as well, but we have YouTube. We don't really use it yet. We might incorporate that in the future.
The only episodes on YouTube, I think, are Psycho 1 and 2. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah. It's kind of a placeholder at the moment, but
it's there.
Definitely Instagram and Facebook are probably the ones we use the most. So check those out and let us know if you have any thoughts or opinions you'd like to share on the movies or on this show. And until then, we'll see you next time and enjoy the show.
And as I was saying, this episode will self-destruct in 5 seconds.